Other than that, I'm in good shape.
This young man became a global sensation thanks to his role as Kevin McAllister. He was a screen star, broke records for child actor salaries, and rubbed elbows with world-famous celebrities. But behind the glittering facade lay a tragic story of a child who was robbed of his childhood.
You're all a bunch of jerks.
Macaulay Culkin is an American actor and musician, best known for starring in Home Alone. Why did his parents send him to the cinema as a child? Why didn't Joe Pesci like him? And how did he allegedly corrupt Marilyn Manson? Find out all this and more in our new video.
14. It's a good thing I have my own ticket, just in case you guys try to ditch me.
Macaulay Culkin, the highs and lows of the Home Alone star. A big family. On August 26, 1980, Macaulay Carson Culkin was born in New York City, destined to become Hollywood's most successful child actor. This was largely due to the efforts of his father, Christopher Cornelius Culkin, a former stage actor known simply as Kit. Macaulay's mother, Patricia Brentrup, once worked as a traffic controller and later as a telephone operator. After starting a family with Kit, however, her focus shifted to managing the household. Macaulay was the third of 7 children, growing up with 4 brothers, older brother Shane, and younger brothers Kieran, Christian, and Rory, and 2 sisters, older sister Dakota, and younger sister Quinn. The Home Alone star also had an older half-sister, Jennifer, from his father's previous relationship, who tragically passed away at age 29. Macaulay's unique name was inspired by 2 historical figures. His first name honors British statesman, historian, and writer Thomas Babington Macaulay, while his middle name, Carson, was given in tribute to American General Kit Carson, who has become a controversial symbol for his treatment of indigenous peoples. Interestingly, as an adult, Macaulay decided to change his middle name and left the decision to his fans in an online poll. The winning choice? Macaulay Culkin. In 2019, he officially became Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay's heritage is a blend of many cultures. On his father's side, he has Irish, English, Swiss German, and French ancestry, while his mother added German and Norwegian roots to the mix. Acting also runs in the family. In addition to his father's theatrical background, his Aunt Bonnie Bedelia is an accomplished actress known for her roles in Die Hard and several other films and TV shows. Poverty. Despite having 7 children, Kit Culkin and Patricia Brentrup never officially married. They lived as a traditional patriarchal family, with Kit as the head. However, his role was marked more by fear than respect, as he often resorted to physical violence and verbal humiliation toward his children. Kit's meager income as a church sacristan barely covered the cost of their cramped 1-bedroom apartment. Things were so tight that young Macaulay was sometimes sent to crawl along the floors of movie theaters, searching for loose change dropped by patrons. The family of 9 lived in such tight quarters that privacy was non-existent. Even the bathroom door couldn't be locked due to a broken latch. Macaulay's early memories were far from idyllic. The constant crying of infants and his shrinking share of a shared sleeping space dominate his recollections. Kit saw a potential solution to their financial struggles in Macaulay, recognizing his budding talent as a performer. He enrolled his son in a children's theater program where Macaulay learned acting and dance. At just 4 years old, Macaulay performed on the stage of the New York Philharmonic. The stage seemed so enormous to him that he feared being overlooked, so he spoke as loudly as he could. The audience was charmed by the spirited child, showering him with more stuffed animals than anyone else. Over time, Macaulay's siblings also dabbled in acting, though not all stuck with it. Shane Culkin appeared in a few TV shows and a stage production before opting for a private life, as did Christian, Dakota, and Quinn. However, Rory and Kieran went on to build successful Hollywood careers. Kit, however, always focused on Macaulay as the family's most promising source of income. After one stage performance, talent scouts noticed him and invited him to appear in commercials. In 1985, Macaulay acted in the Halloween-themed TV movie The Midnight Hour. By 1988, he was appearing regularly in productions, including an episode of the TV series The Equalizer, the dramas Rocket Gibraltar and See You in the Morning, and even in Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July, though his scenes were ultimately cut from the film. Raised in a Catholic household, Macaulay initially attended St. Joseph's School on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Later, he transferred to the Professional Children's School, which catered to young performers with erratic schedules. However, he dropped out during his final year. He also briefly studied at the School of American Ballet in New York. Meteoric success. The young actor quickly rose to fame thanks to his role in John Hughes' family comedy Uncle Buck. The movie features a now iconic scene where Macaulay's character interrogates his uncle, played by John Candy.
Are you my dad's brother?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
38.
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.
During the shoot, Macaulay's lines were written on a piece of paper attached to Candy's forehead, helping him keep pace with the fast-moving dialogue. For his performance, Macaulay earned $40,000, struck up a friendship with Candy, and caught the eye of John Hughes, who was planning a Christmas comedy based on his own script. That upcoming project was Home Alone, and Hughes was convinced Macaulay should play the lead role. However, convincing director Chris Columbus wasn't easy. Even after meeting Macaulay in person, Columbus held auditions with several other candidates, but none could match the young actor's charm. According to Columbus, Macaulay instantly bonded with the other kids on set and was naturally hilarious on camera.
I'm up here, you morons! Come and get me! You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
On set, Macaulay charmed everyone and, even jokingly, tried his hand at directing in place of Columbus. Catherine O'Hara looked after him with motherly care, especially when he fell ill. Macaulay worked the maximum legal limit of 5 hours per day under child labor laws, but often became exhausted. Between takes, he napped on the floor and developed a cold. Despite being sick, he managed to film the scene where Kevin runs away from a police officer after stealing a toothbrush. Daniel Stern, who played Marv, the bumbling thief, described Macaulay as an exceptional professional. However, Stern also worried about how isolated the boy seemed from typical childhood activities, like playing tag or catch. Since Macaulay spent most of his time on set or in hotels, the crew grew concerned about the toll it might take on his mental health. Joe Pesci, meanwhile, had a harder time connecting with Macaulay. For one, Pesci deliberately limited his interactions with the boy to better portray the adversarial dynamic between their characters. He also felt Macaulay was overly pampered on set, which didn't sit well with the seasoned actor. Pesci, accustomed to using colorful language on set, struggled to censor himself around the children. After filming, Macaulay was left with a scar on his finger, a souvenir from a Pesci bite during one of their scenes. No one anticipated Home Alone would become such a massive hit. The film had a modest budget, and Macaulay's paycheck was just $100,000. However, after its release in November 1990, the movie captivated audiences worldwide, grossing nearly $500 million globally. Macaulay even earned a Golden Globe nomination for his performance. Macaulay has mixed feelings about the film that made him a household name. He has said he finds it uncomfortable to watch Home Alone because the memories of the shoot distract him from enjoying the movie. Still, he has occasionally used the film's legacy to break the ice with women. Macaulay has also confessed to being puzzled by one plot detail. Why didn't clever Kevin just call the police when the burglars tried to break into his house? New roles. After the premiere of the Christmas blockbuster, Macaulay began receiving one offer after another. His father, Kit, took on the roles of manager, agent, and financial overseer. Kit insisted that his son earn a groundbreaking $1 million for the 1991 dramedy My Girl, making Macaulay the first child actor to receive such a sum for a single film.
What'd you think of me?
For what?
What if you don't get to marry Mr. Bixler?
I guess.
Remarkably, Macaulay's first ever on-screen kiss, shared with co-star Anna Klumsky, was not only captured on film, but also earned them an MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. That same year, Macaulay starred in the romantic comedy Only the Lonely, reuniting with actor John Candy, director Chris Columbus, and producer John Hughes.
35, hut!
Go, 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 go!
Okay, Billy, right there! Catch the ball, Billy.
I hate this game!
Billy!
In addition to his live-action roles, Macaulay lent his voice to the animated series Wish Kid, portraying the character Nick McClary. At just 11 years old, he also hosted Saturday Night Live. Interestingly, his father forbade him from using cue cards, forcing the young actor to memorize all his lines. Kit reportedly threatened physical punishment if Macaulay's performance fell short. Macaulay also continued to perform on stage, including several productions of The Nutcracker. Tickets sold out quickly, even at prices inflated several times over. Friendship with Jackson and returning as Kevin. Another significant milestone in Macaulay's career in 1991 was his appearance in Michael Jackson's music video for Black or White.
Places, faces, where your blood comes from is where your space is.
Jackson had first noticed the young actor in Uncle Buck and even attended one of his plays. This encounter marked the beginning of their close friendship. Macaulay frequently visited Jackson's Neverland Ranch, where they enjoyed amusement rides and made prank phone calls together. The actor admitted that he often felt lonely among his peers, who couldn't relate to his extraordinary life as a child star. Jackson, he said, was kind, funny, and uniquely understanding of the challenges faced by the young celebrity. In 1992, Macaulay reprised his role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
My family's in Florida. I'm in New York.
This time, Kit Culkin demanded and secured a $4.5 million paycheck for his son, an unprecedented sum for a child actor at the time. Kit also ensured that Macaulay's younger brother, Kieran, returned for a small role as Kevin's cousin, a character he had played in the first film. Macaulay's skyrocketing fame necessitated heightened security measures, particularly for scenes shot in public spaces. Filming at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport was especially challenging because it remained operational during production. Coincidentally, the airport's name matched the last name of Macaulay's on-screen mother, played by Catherine O'Hara. In February, the airport was festively decorated with Christmas ornaments, specifically for the shoot. This marked the conclusion of the classic McAllister family storyline, although later Home Alone sequels were released to consistently poor reviews. Record-breaking salaries. By the time of his next film, Macaulay Culkin's salary had risen to $5 million. This was for the 1993 psychological thriller The Good Son.
Because you're scared all the time. I know. I used to be scared too. That was before I found out. Found out what? That once you realize you can do anything, you're free.
In which his sister Quinn and younger brother Rory also appeared. Initially, Michael Lehman was set to direct, but he was removed due to severe clashes with Kit Culkin. Ultimately, Joseph Rubin took over as director. That same year, Macaulay starred in the musical fantasy The Nutcracker. Once again, his father caused complications. Kit was unhappy with Kevin Kline's narration in the film and threatened to withdraw Macaulay from the promotional campaign unless it was removed. Initially, producer Arnon Milchan agreed to Kit's demands, but when the elder Culkin presented an even longer list of conditions, Milchan was so infuriated that he reinstated the narration. In 1994, Macaulay made a guest appearance on the sitcom Frasier, playing a caller to the radio show. Macaulay later said the role was particularly easy, as he recorded his lines over the phone without leaving home. That same year, audiences saw him in several high-profile films, including the family fantasy The Pagemaster and the comedies Richie Rich and Getting Even with Dad. For the latter, Macaulay had to grow out his hair.
Submitted for your approval. Sunday, 6 p.m. A lonely stretch of California highway. Timmy Gleason suddenly realized he's been abducted by alien beings.
Though he cut it short again as soon as filming wrapped. By this time, Macaulay's paycheck had reached $8 million per film, but the relentless schedule began to take a toll. He begged his father to let him take a break and live a more normal life, but Kit was unwilling to slow down. Kit saw his son as a lucrative opportunity and pushed him to continue working, while also appearing in numerous commercials, including ads for Sprite and LG computers. However, Kit Culkin's reputation as an overly demanding and difficult manager began to harm Macaulay's career. Hollywood producers grew wary of working with the family due to Kit's unreasonable demands, including insisting that other Culkin children be cast in projects and pushing for exorbitant salaries. Offers for Macaulay began to dry up as no one wanted to deal with the elder Culkin's behavior. Estrangement from parents. In 1995, Macaulay Culkin's parents separated. Patricia accused Kit of ruining their son's career and making it nearly impossible for him to revive it. According to other rumors, Patricia begged Macaulay never to act again, and he reportedly promised her just that. A legal battle ensued, with custody of the children awarded to their mother. One of the most contentious issues was Macaulay's substantial earnings. The actor removed both of his parents from his trust fund and appointed a financial trustee until he reached adulthood. It turned out that Kit had concealed the details of Macaulay's finances, leaving the actor stunned when he discovered the fund amounted to $17 million. However, Kit's lack of foresight in negotiating contracts meant Macaulay didn't receive royalties or percentages from box office earnings, only flat salaries. As a result, despite Home Alone being replayed every Christmas, its star doesn't earn residuals from these broadcasts. Macaulay, like most of his siblings, severed all ties with his father. It appears that only Shane Culkin continues to maintain a relationship with Kit. During the legal proceedings with his father, Macaulay focused on his education and took a hiatus from acting. He made a brief return in 1998, appearing in the music video for Sonic Youth's Sunday. Later, he resumed performing on stage. As a teenager, Macaulay struggled with loneliness and found solace in a romantic relationship with his childhood friend Rachel Miner, whom he had met at the professional children's school. Just before his 18th birthday, Macaulay decided to marry her, requiring written consent from his parents. However, the early marriage was short-lived. The couple separated in 2000 and finalized their divorce 2 years later. Return. In the early 2000s, Macaulay returned to the theater stage, starring in the London production of Madame Melville as a 15-year-old teenager seduced by his French teacher. Later, the play moved beyond Broadway and ran there for 4 months. Around the same time, Culkin began dating actress Mila Kunis. Having also risen to fame at a young age, she could empathize with Macaulay's struggles. However, even she didn't anticipate the extent of the craziness he faced. The couple couldn't enjoy a simple walk outside, as Macaulay was inevitably recognized and treated like a child by passersby. In 2003, Culkin returned to the screen, taking the lead role in the youth tragicomedy Party Monster.
Mate, how could you even think about going out?
I've been planning this party for months. Christina had no right to go and die on us.
You ghoul.
Oh, please. The best superstar is a dead superstar.
Stop it. I mean it.
His character, Michael Alig, was a significant figure in the history of club culture. At that time, Alig was serving a prison sentence, and Macaulay visited him to better immerse himself in the role. The film also featured Marilyn Manson, who revealed that Culkin bought him his first pack of cigarettes during their collaboration. Macaulay found it amusingly ironic that someone widely perceived as the Antichrist was led astray by the charming Kevin from Home Alone. That same year, the actor made a guest appearance in an episode of the sitcom Will and Grace. Shortly after, he starred in the adventure drama Jerusalemsky Syndrome and the comedy drama Saved. While the latter wasn't a box office hit, it did earn Culkin critical praise.
Nice.
You want to push?
Thanks.
You stare at my ass again, I will push you off a cliff.
Early alarms. Around this time, Culkin was arrested several times for possession of illegal substances. On his first offense, he was briefly jailed but later released on $4,000 bail. For subsequent offenses, he received a 3-year suspended sentence and a fine of $540. In 2005, Culkin took on a role in the dark comedy Sex and Breakfast and contributed voice work to the animated series Robot Chicken. That same year, he defended Michael Jackson, testifying under oath to reject all allegations made against his friend. Jackson was acquitted, and Culkin has consistently supported him ever since. "If I had anything to say, I would have said it," Culkin shared in a 2020 interview. Interestingly, Culkin is the godfather to Jackson's children and has been a source of support for them following the pop icon's passing. He and Paris Jackson share a particularly close bond, spending significant time together and even getting matching tattoos. Their relationship has sparked romantic rumors in the media, but Culkin has always dismissed them, stating that he deeply loves and protects Paris. In 2006, Culkin published an experimental semi-autobiographical novel titled Junior, in which he explored themes of fame and his complicated relationship with his father. However, the actor later expressed regret over the book's release, even referring to himself as a fraud for publishing what he described as a stream of consciousness. Tragedy struck the Culkin family in 2008 when Macaulay's older sister Dakota died in a car accident. In their last conversation, she praised his performance in Party Monster and encouraged him to stay focused on his work and maintain his enthusiasm. Her death deeply affected Culkin, driving him further into unhealthy habits. During this period, Culkin's professional work was sparse. He appeared in the sci-fi drama series Kings and a commercial for the UK-based insurance company Aviva. Additionally, on August 17, 2009, he made a brief cameo at a wrestling event. Incidentally, Culkin has been a passionate fan of professional wrestling since the early 1990s, attending shows as a celebrity guest during his childhood. Severe depression. Culkin hit rock bottom after his breakup with Mila Kunis at the end of 2010, which she initiated. While the split was painful for both, Macaulay fell into a deep depression. Despite his struggles, he managed to participate in musician Adam Green's experimental film The Wrong Ferrari, entirely shot on an iPhone and released in 2011. That same year, Culkin appeared in the music video for Stamp Your Name on It by Jack Dishel, Green's former bandmate. In September 2012, Culkin shared a YouTube video showcasing how he had turned his New York apartment into an art studio. He had purchased the property back in 1999 for $1.7 million. Just months later, in December 2012, Macaulay reportedly attempted to take his own life due to his long-term depression. Fortunately, he survived the incident and began to recover. By December 2013, Culkin had founded the Pizza Underground, a parody cover band that reworked songs by the Velvet Underground with humorous lyrics about pizza.
Sausages and cheese. Pizza now.
While the band initially received a warm reception in the US, their first UK tour ended disastrously. During one performance, the group was booed off the stage after just 15 minutes, prompting them to cancel the remaining shows. In 2016, they officially announced the band's dissolution. Interestingly, Culkin dated his bandmate Jordan Lane Price for several years. There were even rumors of an engagement, but the couple broke up in 2017. New beginnings. After the disbandment of his band, Macaulay worked as a DJ in nightclubs and took on roles in various projects, including the sitcom The Jim Gaffigan Show, a low-budget reimagining of the Eastern tale Adam Green's Aladdin, and a series of shorts titled Drivers. In the pilot episode of Drivers, the actor revisited his iconic role as Kevin from Home Alone for the first time in years. Around the same time, he portrayed legendary rock musician Kurt Cobain in a music video by singer Josh Tillman, appeared in a television commercial for the insurance comparison website Compare the Market, and made occasional TV appearances on talk shows. In January 2018, Culkin launched a comedic lifestyle website, Bunny Ears, alongside a podcast of the same name. The project parodied celebrity-owned platforms such as Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. For a long time, this venture became Macaulay's main focus, earning him the title of a self-proclaimed homebody. Nevertheless, he occasionally returned to filming. In one notable instance, Culkin reprised his role as Kevin for a Google Assistant ad. In the ad, an adult Kevin shaves, jumps on the bed, and decorates a Christmas tree, but this time, he's aided by a digital assistant. Starting a family. In 2019, Macaulay appeared in the films Changeland and an episode of the series Dollface. In both projects, his co-star was actress Brenda Song, with whom he developed a romantic relationship. Brenda, who rose to fame as a child through roles in Disney shows, shared many similarities with Culkin, which helped their bond flourish. Their relationship was so harmonious that Macaulay found it hard to believe and kept searching for something to go wrong. When he realized there was no catch, he stopped hiding his feelings from the public, and soon the couple moved in together. Brenda often speaks about how kind, devoted, sweet, and intelligent her partner is, while Macaulay enjoys surprising her with heartfelt gifts. For example, one Christmas, he gave her a kitten she named Santa Claus. After several years of living together, Macaulay and Brenda decided to start a family. Their dream came true in 2021 when their son, Dakota Song Culkin, was born on April 5th. The child was named in honor of Macaulay's late sister, Dakota. The couple chose not to hire a nanny, relying instead on Brenda's mother for help. She would bring the baby to set so Brenda could feed him and spend time with him during breaks in filming. Macaulay also returned to acting, taking on a role in the 10th season of the horror drama series American Horror Story.
I'll give you 200 for taste.
No, you almost killed me last time.
I suck you, or you don't get shit. How's that for a deal?
Okay.
He agreed to join the project during a phone call with the show's creator, Ryan Murphy, after Murphy promised him a love scene with actress Kathy Bates. "It sounds like a role I was born to play," Macaulay quipped. In January 2022, Culkin announced his engagement to Brenda Song. Brenda even launched a wedding-themed collection in collaboration with Amazon Handmade, inspired by their upcoming nuptials. While no news of a wedding has yet followed, the couple welcomed their second child, a son named Carson, in December of the same year, a star on the Walk of Fame. While waiting to welcome another child into his family, Macaulay found time to appear in 2 episodes of the series The Righteous Gemstones, and to lend his voice to the animated film Intergalactic. He also had an opportunity to audition for the sitcom The Big Bang Theory, but turned it down several times because he couldn't envision himself in that genre. Additionally, he auditioned for Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but didn't make the cut. Macaulay later admitted he wouldn't have hired himself either after such a lackluster performance. He's also been vocal about his dislike of auditions, noting that they're not his strong suit. On December 1st, 2023, Macaulay Culkin was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His fiancée Brenda Song and their 2 sons joined him at the ceremony, where Macaulay gave a heartfelt speech expressing his love for his family. Among those congratulating him were Natasha Lyonne, his co-star from Party Monster, and Catherine O'Hara, who played his on-screen mother in Home Alone. O'Hara emphasized that Macaulay's performance in Home Alone turned the film into something much more than just a movie. It became a cherished holiday tradition for countless families. In his own closing remarks, Culkin acknowledged the film's enduring legacy, ending his speech with the iconic line, "Happy holidays, you filthy animals." Net worth. Experts estimate Macaulay Culkin's net worth at around $18 million. Over the years, he has maintained lucrative endorsement deals, including promoting the Christmas collection for the Swedish sock brand Happy Socks, and working with beer producer Golden Road, which he advertised through his Instagram account. Culkin also dabbled in modeling, walking in a Gucci fashion show, and served as a producer for the comedic video game Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. Culkin has mentioned earning income from various properties located around the world. While specifics about his holdings are sparse, a few are publicly known. Aside from his New York penthouse, turned art studio, Culkin lived in a Paris apartment during the 2010s. After meeting Brenda Song, he moved into a single-story home with her in the Studio City neighborhood of Los Angeles. The cozy house features a spacious living room with a fireplace, direct access to a backyard barbecue area, a pool, and a garden. Following their engagement, the couple decided to sell this property, finding a buyer for $3 million, and purchased a 2-story home in the Toluca Lake area of Los Angeles for $8 million. Spanning 4,800 square feet, approximately 450 square meters, the new property boasts a pool, an outdoor dining area, a lush lawn, and modern minimalist interior design. Details about Culkin's car collection remain scarce, though he has been spotted driving a black Lexus SC 430. A quiet life. Macaulay Culkin acknowledges that he was deprived of a proper childhood and feels disappointed by his poor relationship with his parents. One lasting effect of his early fame is agoraphobia, a fear of large crowds. The actor revealed that his condition worsened after an incident where a group of fans started rocking his trailer on a movie set. Taking his dog for a walk has been a therapeutic way for him to cope with this disorder. Despite his challenges, Culkin strives to maintain a positive outlook, often saying that things could have been worse. It took him a long time to achieve the life he enjoys today, surrounded by his wonderful family and a cozy home. After breaking ties with his parents, he also distanced himself from their religion, mentioning that the last time he attended church was for his sister's funeral. He now finds comfort in spending time with his fiancée, children, and close friends. Video games also bring him peace, his favorite being World of Warcraft. In late November 2024, Culkin embarked on a North American tour for nostalgic evenings centered on the film Home Alone. After screenings of the timeless Christmas classic, he participates in Q&A sessions with audiences.
This is a vacation.
What question would you ask him?